Thank you, Madam Chair. Admiral McAllister, again, I want to welcome you here today. Just returned from a trip to New Zealand and Australia, and I'm proud to report that they talked glowingly about our Coast Guard. They talked about coordinated efforts, exercises, and rescuing folks in places of the world in the sea where nobody's ever heard of. And you do a great job. And as I was mentioning earlier, in Puerto Rico, I've also heard the same thing. You watch, you monitor areas as far as Venezuela for those drug interdiction, and I understand you've been, stepping all over some mini submarines lately full of drugs, and thank you for doing that good work as well. North Korea, as I mentioned earlier, you're part of the enforcement of those sanctions out there because the Navy can't do it, and you all step up and do it. So you do some very good work, and I'm just going to put it out again. My committee is one of the committees that has co-jurisdiction on these issues, and I want to not have you report to us, but work with you on these issues. As I mentioned earlier, I had the same challenges with the California National Guard and General Baldwin. He stepped up, and we worked it out, and a couple of years later, everybody was doing a very good job. So if I can, I'm going to ask a couple of quick questions of you, sir, and move on. As you know, earlier today, the Oversight, Reform, and our Homeland Committees released a report on the results of an 18-month-long investigation. And the report contains 7 recommendations to help ensure that the Coast Guard conducts prompt, thorough, and impartial investigations of such allegations in the future. Trying to create some good policy here, sir. So I'm going to summarize the 7 recommendations. Number 1, orders for investigation should identify the specific allegations to be investigated. Specific allegations: be no appearance of conflict of interest. Individuals assigned to investigate should have the proper training. Guidelines should be established regarding process for adjudicating complaints. Investigative report should meet the standards set forth in the Coast Guard's Administrative Investigations Manual. Excuse me. Number 6, actions that could have a chilling effect on complaints should be prohibited. And finally, the Coast Guard's anti-harassment, anti-bullying policies and procedures should be followed. They exist, but they should be followed. So can I get a commitment from you today that the Coast Guard will implement these recommendations, and that you, I'm not going to say work to do it, but work with us to make sure we get it done, and make sure you continue to shine brightly, because all the folks in the Coast Guard have earned our respect and admiration. That's a question.
Well, Chairman, thanks very much for the question. First off, thanks for your comments about Coast Guard operations around the world. We're proud of what we're able to do alongside our DoD and international partners. And we also look forward to working with the committees here to enhance our policies and procedures. I did not have the opportunity before testifying here today to look at the details of those recommendations, but as you described them, sir, all of those sound reasonable. I certainly agree in concept with the idea of enhancing our policies and procedures along the lines of clearer orders to investigating officers, ensuring that investigating officers have the appropriate training to do their work in an impartial manner, brings integrity to the process, avoiding conflicts of interest, and so absolutely agree in concept, and I look forward to working with the committees, and we're happy to do that.
Admiral McAllister, I'm going to say, once you have a chance to look at those, I'm going to buy you lunch. I'm going to buy your staff some lunch, and let's sit down and work through these issues and make sure that we can comply with all these 7 recommendations and move ahead. Thank you very much, and Madam Chair, I yield the remainder of my time.